Hey folks, let's talk mini Game Master toolboxes. Today I'm going to walk you through basically my little toolkit I take with me when I'm going on vacation, or maybe if I'm going on a conference or something like that, and I want to bring my gaming supplies with me, but I don't need the whole freaking box. Thus, the mini Game Master's toolbox. So let's look at my most basic Game Master toolbox. Sometimes you don't need to bring the huge Plano box. Maybe all you need is some dice because you're just going over to a friend's house. And, maybe it's more theater of the mind. Maybe you just get a couple of rule books. Maybe you just can't carry that stuff because you're going on vacation. That's what this box is for. So this actually fits into my D&D Plano box, but it's meant to be the thing that I take on the road. And it's got basically the essentials that I need to either work on my campaign or to be a DM. So, of course, pens and pencils, because Game Masters always have to have pens and pencils because everybody else forgets theirs. It has a measuring tape because you know what? Sometimes you just need it. Sometimes you need it just to figure out line of sight, right? People don't actually care about the physical distance, but they care about line of sight. So this is quick and easy line of sight. These are just some random dice that I picked up at Gen Con because, inevitably somebody says, well, you know what? You're describing the scene and they go, wait. Was he hitting the right foot or the left foot? Or what body part was he hitting? Random die will help you with that. Random weather. Often, I'm going to know what the weather's going to be ahead of time for my scenario, but, enough time passes, you might need to roll for some weather. These crystals are typically used almost like bennies to indicate some sort of a resource. So in Dungeons & Dragons, I'll often use them as inspiration or to indicate some other resource in the game. I also have poker chips for that purpose. Sometimes I'm using them with Savage Worlds or with Fate. The whole idea is you're giving the players something tangible that they can feel and hold in their hands and fidget with. So it reminds them that they have that resource to use. Obviously, variety of dice. My fudge dice for use with Fate. A couple of different D20 sets. Your standard Dungeons & Dragons polyhedral dice. Then my funky dice for Dungeon Crawl Classics and Mutant Crawl Classics, which I've been playing more of recently. Then I've got these glass beads, which can represent a couple different things. They're good for representing conditions, particularly in D&D or Savage Worlds, right? So, like in Savage Worlds, I'll use this blue to indicate that someone has been shaken. In D&D, I might indicate that they were stunned or some other sort of, or held, or some sort of temporary effect. These, if I just want to say, hey, this is the guy whom you hit last time, he's wounded, I'll put down a red pip. In Savage Worlds, if I'm fighting a combat and I want to indicate how many wounds somebody has taken, well, these are what those are for. And then these are just alternative versions of that, right? So the clear one and the crystal one, a lot of times I'll just improvise whatever I'm going to do during the game, but it's handy to have. D6s, because you can never have enough D6s. These polyhedral 12-sided dice with Roman numerals on them are fantastic. I saw these, I think it was at Gen Con many years ago. There's a guy who was running the Battlestar Galactica game, and he had these, and he was using them for just like everything to indicate obstacles, to indicate NPCs. Really just, it was very impressive. And so I immediately went out and got some. I believe I got these through Chessex. Now, of course, sticky notes, right? So you're going to need to have sticky notes. You're going to have index cards because either you need them for taking notes or you need them just to indicate different scenes about the different parts of the battlefield, right? So these can be used to represent zones if you're playing a game like Fallout or Dreams and Machines, or Fate, or you can just use them to stick them to your Dungeon Master screen to say, hey, remember your initiative and that somebody cast Bless. Then these last are Dungeon Morphs. They are most excellent dice that are used to randomly generate dungeons. I won't use these during a con game, but a lot of times when I'm going on vacation or if I'm just going on a trip or something and I just need some inspiration, I will bring these dice with me to help me with just rolling up a dungeon, rolling up a, corporate headquarters for Cyberpunk or what have you. The idea is it gets your brain working. I don't necessarily use them exactly as they are, but they're providing just some inspiration. So this is the quick and dirty toolbox. The great thing about this is, like everything else, it's a Plano. It's easy to pick up and compartmentalize to really prioritize whatever is important for your game. Obviously, what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you. But you know what? Customization is awesome. My name is Ken Newquist. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Lair of Secrets podcast. You can check us out at lairofsecrets.com.